You're too weak to ever leave me. That's why I can do this, she smirked, bringing her new boyfriend into our home while I was at work. So I packed my bags and never looked back. Now he's dumped her, friends avoid her, and she's texting me from a motel. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I'm 28, work in IT, and have always been the steady guy in relationships. I'm not flashy, but I show up. I cook dinner when someone's tired. I drive in the middle of the night when they've had too much to drink, and I pay bills on time. When Anna and I met 2 years ago, she said those were the things she'd always wanted: stability, loyalty, and someone who listened. I believed her. Anna's 26, artistic, very online, and always chasing a new aesthetic. When we moved in together last spring, she still had 3 side hustles, but no consistent income. I covered more than my share of the rent because we're building a life, and I was proud to be supportive. Her friends joked I was husband material, and she'd laugh and squeeze my hand. But in the last few months, something shifted. She started staying out later, networking. Her phone was always face down, and she changed her passcode twice. She began posting those half-dressed photo dumps on Instagram, stuff she never used to do, with captions like "wild at heart" and "don't cage me." When I asked if everything was okay, she'd respond with an airy, "God, you're so uptight. It's just networking." One Saturday night, we were at her friend Maddie's apartment. It wasn't really a party, more like 6 people on couches, music too loud for the space, everyone drinking. I sat at one end of the sectional scrolling on my phone while Anna curled up on the other side, whispering to some guy I'd never met. He had the kind of swagger I never had time for: expensive sneakers, big watch, hair too perfect to be casual. I tried not to stare, but couldn't help noticing how she leaned into him, the kind of tilt you only give someone you're interested in. My stomach sank, but I stayed quiet. Around midnight, she got up, grabbed my beer from the table without asking, took a sip, and handed it back like a queen dispensing favors. Then she plopped down beside me, scrolling on her phone, her face lit by the screen. "Who's that guy?" I asked, keeping my voice level. She smirked, not even glancing up. "Just a friend. I've never seen you that close to a friend." She looked at me then, eyes glassy from wine, and for a second I thought she'd soften. Instead, she tilted her head and laughed, a sharp, ugly sound. "You know what your problem is?" she said loudly enough for Maddie to look over. "You're too weak to ever leave me. That's why I can do this." The room went dead quiet for a beat. "What does that even mean?" I asked, voice low. "It means," she said, rolling her eyes, "you're boring, predictable, and safe. He's exciting. He's a man. You're—" She let the word hang, then flicked her eyes down my body like she was appraising a dented car. "You're fine. But you'd never leave, so why not?" Maddie murmured, "Anna." But Anna ignored her. I felt the heat rise in my face, but didn't give her the satisfaction of reacting. I took a slow sip of my beer. "Okay," I said quietly. "Okay," she mocked. "That's all you've got? God, you're pathetic sometimes." I stood, smoothed my shirt, and set my beer down. "Enjoy your night." She laughed again, but it was thinner this time. "Where are you even going?" We came together. I didn't answer. I walked out into the hallway and down the stairs, the bass from Maddie's Bluetooth speaker fading behind me. Outside, the air was cool and smelled like rain. I walked 3 blocks to my car, sat behind the wheel, and just breathed. My hands weren't shaking. My heart was steady. I felt a kind of cold clarity, not rage, not humiliation. More like a bell had rung somewhere deep inside me, and the echo was already fading. On the drive home, her words replayed. "You're too weak to ever leave me. That's why I can do this." She believed that. She'd said it out loud in front of other people. And that, more than anything, made the decision for me. I unlocked our apartment quietly, the way you do when you don't want to wake someone. But Anna wasn't there yet. Her shoes were gone, her jacket missing. I sat on the couch in the dark and stared at the blank TV screen until it reflected my own face back. I thought about every night I'd stayed up making sure she got home, every bill I'd paid, every time I'd said, "It's okay," when she blew off dinner or forgot to text back. I thought about how she'd looked at that guy, a stranger, like he was the future and I was the old apartment she'd already moved out of. Then I thought about her smirk. That was when something in me shifted. Not snapped, just shifted. I picked up my phone, opened my banking app, and started transferring money out of our joint account into mine. The lease was in my name. All the utilities were in my name. My car, my insurance, my phone plan. The sudden realization was almost disorienting. She'd built her freedom on a scaffolding I'd quietly maintained. I stared at the screen, thumb hovering over the transfer button, then pressed it. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't even anger. It was like stepping out of a costume you'd been wearing so long you forgot it wasn't your skin. I didn't sleep that night. Not from heartbreak, though that was there, pulsing under my ribs, but from a sense of eerie calm. The decision felt already made. Anna had said the quiet part out loud. She believed I'd tolerate anything. At 4:30 a.m., I started packing. Not frantically, but deliberately. Suitcase first. Work clothes, laptop, chargers, documents. Then a duffel bag, shoes, toiletries, a few books. I left her stuff untouched. I didn't slam drawers or throw things. I moved like someone rearranging a hotel room. By 6 a.m., the place looked normal except for the empty hangers in my closet and the gap on the bookshelf where my things had been. I wrote no note, left no dramatic message. She wanted drama. I wasn't going to hand it to her. I called my buddy Chris, who owed me a favor from last year when I'd helped him move. He had a spare room in his townhouse. "Can I crash for a week or two?" I asked. "Of course. You okay?" "I will be," I said. By 7:30 a.m., my car was loaded. The sun had just started leaking over the rooftops. I locked the apartment door behind me and dropped my key through the mail slot. It wasn't until I pulled into Chris's driveway that I realized I'd been holding my breath since leaving. Chris didn't ask many questions. He's one of those people who knows when silence is better. He handed me a mug of coffee, nodded toward the guest room, and went to work. I sat on his couch staring at my phone as it vibrated. Anna had texted once at 3 a.m. "Where did you go? You're embarrassing me." Nothing since. I muted her notifications and put my phone face down. The first week felt like detox. I worked out in Chris's garage gym. I cooked my own meals, slept with the window open, and woke up without the gnawing dread of what will she do today. I deleted my social media accounts except LinkedIn. I didn't want to see her face or the guy's sneakers or the captions. My paycheck hit on Friday. For the first time in months, I could look at my bank balance and know it was mine. I paid Chris rent in cash, booked therapy, and bought a new set of running shoes. I expected the rage to come. It didn't. What came instead was a strange, hollow peace. By the second week, the text started again. "Anna, hey, you okay? Anna, we need to talk. Anna, you're being childish. Call me." I didn't answer. She started leaving voicemails, crying at first, then scolding. "We've been together for 2 years. You don't just disappear like that. I know you're at Chris's. Don't make me come there." I saved them, but didn't listen twice. Meanwhile, mutual friends began DMing me with little updates I hadn't asked for. "Dude, have you seen Anna's stories?" "No." She's like, "with that guy all the time now." They're already fighting in comments. Yikes. I'd shrug. Not my problem. And it wasn't. Chris said one night over dinner, "You're handling this scary well." "Handling what?" I said. "Her. Everything." "You're like, Zen." "I'm just done," I said. And I meant it. One Saturday morning, 2 weeks after I'd left, Anna finally showed up. Chris had gone out to run errands. I was on the back deck drinking coffee when I heard a car door slam. Then pounding at the front door. I stayed where I was, letting her knock. Eventually, she came around the side of the house and spotted me. "There you are," she said, as if we'd just lost each other at the mall. "What the hell?" She looked rough. Not tragic yet, but tired. Her makeup smudged, hair tied up, oversized hoodie instead of the curated outfits she used to post. "You moved out," she said. "You actually moved out." I sipped my coffee. "Good morning. Why didn't you tell me?" "You told me everything I needed to know," I said. Her face pinched. "Oh, come on. I was drunk. You're overreacting." "No," I said quietly. "You were honest." She threw up her hands. "God, you're so dramatic. You think you're punishing me." "I'm not punishing anyone." "Well, congratulations. You've made your point. You left. Now come back. We can talk about it." I set my mug down and stood, keeping the patio table between us. "I'm not coming back." Her mouth opened and closed. "You can't just walk away. We built a life." "You built a life on me," I said. I just stopped holding it up. For For a moment, she looked genuinely frightened. Then the mask slid back on. Fine. Be like that. But don't think he's going anywhere. I shrugged. Good luck. She stared at me another few seconds, like she was trying to solve a math problem, then turned and walked off. After she left, I sat back down and opened my phone. There were no missed calls from work, no crises. My calendar was empty for the weekend. I felt like someone who'd been underwater a long time and had finally broken the surface. Chris came back around noon. Was that her? Yep. You okay? I'm great. Over the next month, word about Anna's new relationship came in pieces. The guy had moved into her apartment almost immediately. Then they'd fought at a club. Then he'd taken her car to run errands and disappeared for 3 days. Then her landlord started eviction proceedings because the rent hadn't been paid. I didn't smile at any of it. I just noted it like weather reports from a city I no longer lived in. At work, I got promoted to project lead. I started running 5 miles a day. Chris's girlfriend introduced me to her sister. We went for coffee, then dinner. No drama, just normal conversation. Meanwhile, Anna's texts had shifted tone again. I messed up. Please call me. He's not who I thought. I'm scared. I need you. Just for tonight. Please. I left them unread. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't even satisfaction. It was simply the absence of noise. I didn't have to brace for a snide comment, a public put-down, or a midnight crisis. Every time my phone buzzed, I knew it was someone I actually wanted to hear from. And every time I remembered her words, "You're too weak to ever leave me," I felt the same steady calm. By midsummer, the story of Anna's new life had turned into a slow-motion car crash everyone could see coming. At first, she doubled down on the hot girl era posts, boomerangs at bars, cryptic quotes, videos of her new guy, or whoever he was, pouring champagne. But even through muted accounts and secondhand screenshots from friends, I could see the shift. Captions went from, "Finally someone who gets me," to "Tired of fake people." Her face looked thinner, paler. She'd start a live stream crying, then delete it an hour later. I didn't comment. Didn't even like anything. I lived my life. Ran 5 miles before work, landed another project at the firm, started seeing the girl Chris's girlfriend had set me up with. Her name's Leah, by the way. She's soft-spoken, smart, and actually listens when people talk. One Thursday night, 3 months after I'd left, Anna called. Not texted, called. I let it go to voicemail. Then another call. Then another. By the time the 5th one came through, I picked up, more curious than anything. She sounded drunk and small. "Can you come get me?" she slurred. "Anna, please. Just come. I don't know who else to call." I almost said yes. Some muscle memory from the old days. But then I remembered the patio, her smirk, and the line that had burned itself into my brain. "You're too weak to ever leave me." "No," I said. "Call a cab. Or a friend." Silence. Then a low, bitter laugh. "Wow. You've changed." "I haven't changed. I've stopped." And I hung up. 2 days later, Chris sent me a link to a community Facebook page. Anna's car had been impounded. She'd been evicted. Mutual friends were openly talking about how that guy had run off with her money. "Guess she's getting her karma," Chris wrote. "Guess so," I texted back. But I didn't feel triumph. Just distance. It wasn't until October that I saw her face again in real life. Leah and I were walking out of a farmer's market downtown when I heard my name. Anna stood on the sidewalk, holding a paper coffee cup like it was an anchor. Her hoodie was zipped to her chin. No makeup. Hair dull. For a second, I didn't recognize her. Then her eyes locked on mine, and I felt that old lurch, the one that used to mean trouble. "Hey," she said softly. "Can we talk?" Leah glanced at me. I squeezed her hand. "Give me a sec." Leah nodded and walked a few steps away. Anna stepped closer, eyes flicking over Leah like she was a stranger at her old desk. "You look good," she said. "Thanks." She swallowed. "I'm sorry." I didn't answer. "I lost everything," she blurted. "The apartment, the car, my job." He left. Everybody left. "I've been living at my cousin's." Her voice cracked. "I just wanted to say you were right. I was horrible to you. I thought you'd always be there. And you weren't. And now." She trailed off. I felt a strange clarity, like the world had gone very quiet. "Anna," I said, "I don't hate you. But I'm not coming back. That person you're talking to? He's gone." Tears welled in her eyes. "I know. I just had to see you." "You did." I gestured toward the street. Take care of yourself. For a moment, she looked like she wanted to scream or claw at me the way she used to when cornered. But instead she nodded, whispered, "Okay," and turned away. I walked back to Leah. She didn't ask what Anna said. She just slipped her hand into mine, and we kept walking. I don't tell this story to gloat. There's no trophy at the end. But every time I hear that line, "You're too weak to ever leave me," echoing in my memory, it's like a bell marking the moment my life split in two. Before and after. Before, I was an exhausted guy trying to keep a collapsing relationship upright. After, I was someone who quietly walked away and built something new. If you're reading this and you're where I was back then, thinking you're too weak to leave, I'm telling you, you're not. You're stronger than you think. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing dramatic at all. Just stand up, pack your bag, and go. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.